What's going on, everybody? Ray here, PapaReys Boom Boom Room. Back at it again with a Week 10 Stardom, Situm, and weekly picks. I want to thank you guys for following along all season long, liking and commenting on my TikTok videos, subscribing to the YouTube channel, following on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you guys for the support. I'm going to go ahead and recap Week 9 of the NFL season. You had Green Bay beating San Francisco 34-17. Buffalo beating Seattle 44-34. Baltimore beating Indianapolis 24-10. Atlanta beating Denver 34-27. Houston beating the Jags 27-25. Kansas City beating Carolina 33-31. Minnesota beating Detroit 34-20. Tennessee beating Chicago 24-17. The Giants beating Washington 23-20. Las Vegas beating the Chargers 31-26. Miami beating Arizona 34-31. Pittsburgh beating Dallas 24-19. And New Orleans beating Tampa Bay 38-3. And the Patriots beating the Jets 30-27. A lot of good football this week. A lot of close games that maybe shouldn't have been as close, and a big blowout in that Tampa Bay game. That was like Brady's worst game ever. I'm going to jump into our stardom situms for fantasy football, starting with the quarterback position. I'm going to start Carson Wentz, start Tua, start Baker Mayfield, start Jared Goff, and start Tom Brady. I expect him to bounce back very well against the Panthers. Quarterbacks to sit: Joe Burrow, Teddy Bridgewater, Daniel Jones, Cam Newton, and Ryan Tannehill. Let's move on to the running backs. I believe Chubb will be back this week, so Hunt and Chubb are definite starts. I believe you should start Darrell Henderson versus Seattle, start Antonio Gibson versus Detroit, start Mike Davis with Christian McCaffrey out once again, and start J.K. Dobbins versus New England. Running backs to sit: I'm going to say sit Devin Singletary. Zach Moss is, in my eyes, taking over the lead role for back in Buffalo. Sit Melvin Gordon. Sit DJ Dallas. I'm going to say sit the San Francisco running backs and sit New England's running backs. Moving on to wide receiver. For our starts, I'm going to say start Christian Kirk, start Jerry Jeudy, start the Steelers wide receivers. Honestly, if you have any of the three, I would start them. Start the Chicago wide receivers, that rookie, as well as Allen Robinson, and start Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods versus Seattle. Wide receivers to sit: I'm going to say sit AJ Green, sit the New England wide receivers, sit Cole Beasley, sit Mike Williams, and a boom or bust situation. I believe it's Hollywood Brown. Either he's going to bust completely like he's been doing all season, or he could have a good game versus the Patriots, but at this time during the season, it's not something you might want to risk. Moving on to tight ends, start TJ Hawkinson, start Evan Ingram, start Eric Ebron, start Darren Waller, and start Mark Andrews. Tight ends to sit Jordan Reed, sit Hunter Henry, sit Mike Gesicki, and sit Tyler Higbee, who has been an utter bust all season long, coming into the season as supposed to be one of the top tight ends fantasy-wise this season. And my starts, I don't have any sits, so starts for kickers and defense: start Cairo Santos, start Daniel Carlson, start Zane Gonzalez, start Brandon McManus, and start Jason Sanders. My defensive starts: I'm going to say start the Steelers, start the Saints, start Green Bay, start Ravens, and you can start either Washington or Detroit. And also the same goes for Eagles or Giants. All right, let's move on to my Week 10 picks. Week 10 starting to get crucial. NFL talking about increasing the playoffs to, I believe it was like a 16-team format. expanding it by 2 teams, depending on if these COVID rules, if COVID allows them to not reschedule any big games or quote unquote games that matter, whatever that means to them. So let's get started with that. I'm going to say the Titans are going to win today versus Indianapolis, Buffalo over Arizona, Baltimore over New England, Tampa Bay over the Panthers, Cleveland over Houston, Detroit over Washington, Green Bay over Jacksonville, Philadelphia over New York Giants, Las Vegas over Denver, Miami over the Chargers, Pittsburgh over Cincinnati, Seattle over the Rams, New Orleans over San Francisco, and Minnesota over Chicago. Those are my Week 10 picks. Those are my stardom sit-ins for fantasy. Like I said, if you guys haven't followed me already on TikTok, I'm not just about sports on there. I like to post funny videos and like to think I'm a comedian. Not really. But I'm on there at PapaReys Boom Boom Room. PapaReys Boom Boom Room on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and PapaReys BBR on Twitter. So hopefully you guys are above 500 in your fantasy leagues, starting to get clutch times for playoff seedings. I want to wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you guys for listening/watching.